Today we have topic learning from Lord Shiva. So just 2 and 3 days back, we have celebrated Mahashivratri, where we have celebrated the marriage of Shiv and Parvati, and that is considered as the Mahashivratri. So that's why I have taken this topic, what we have learned, and if we have learned something from Lord Shiva, whether we have adopted in our life or not. Because learning, suppose that you have seen something information, you have read some information on internet regarding learning from anyone, whether it is the god, whether it is the any celebrity or any politician or any big business title. But if we have not implemented that learning in our life, then there is no sense of that learning, because there is no end of knowledge that is available on the internet, from the YouTube or any article or anywhere. And we have the lots and lots, lakhs and crores of the books where lots of person is providing very useful information. But if we have not implemented even the single step, single learning from all those information, then our life will never change. So my request to each and every participant, whatever, wherever you are learning anything, चाहे वो YouTube हो, any article हो, या you are reading any book, or you are taking any one session. Okay, if you want to implement, then it will be the useful for your life. Otherwise, it will not. So let us start our topic. So today we are going to learn about the what we have the learning from Lord Shiva, and for a student, for housewife, for business owner, and for the job holder, what he has given the lesson. So today we are going to discuss only one lesson from Lord Shiva. And there are the lots of the learning from Lord Shiva, but today we will take only one lesson. So he has given that lesson that is the equivalent relevant for the student as well as the housewife and business owner and job holder. So we have to understand for each category or each person how it is the relevant and how it's important. So you have the particular picture in front of you, that is the Lord Shiva, and you have seen this kind of a picture on internet or on your WhatsApp or anywhere. Okay. So my question is that to you, what image you have created? Like you can say, Shiv is cool and calm, and Shiv has the just third eyes, that is the use for the power. So there are lots of the things. Okay. Uh, and you can say Shiv is not materialistic because he is not wearing lots of jewelry, he is not wearing wealthy cloth on, etc. There are lots of things. So whether if we have seen or we have understand this kind of the learning from Lord Shiva, whether we have adopted in our life or not. If every picture we are seeing in Lord Shiva is has no materialistic connection. Like he does not wear any jewelry, he don't wear any luxury cloth or any kind of the cloth. But so it means he is not related to a materialistic life. But whether we have correlated or we have adopted, no, we have not adopted, because in our life we have to show off. Okay, so there is a very good, you can say, counterpart. We are saying something and we are learning something, but we are not able to implement in our life. So today, that is the reason today I have taken only one lesson of Lord Shiva, that we will try to implement in our life. In the last video, we have discussed, that is the interconnected session. That's why just I am repeating the last video. In last session, we have discussed about the collaboration. You make collaboration with your friend, your family, your competitor, and your vendor and associate. Suppose that you are into job, so then you can make the collaboration with your boss, super boss, boss to boss, or even your junior member. Suppose that 2 and 3 junior member is directly reporting to you, then you can make the collaboration. And some person who is not directly reporting to you or some other department, suppose that you are into admin department, so there is some salesperson, there is some accounts person, there is some HR person. Okay, so he is not directly reporting to you. In spite of that, you have to make the collaboration with the whole department, so you can understand what's going in organization and how you compete or how you can improve your product. So in the last session, we have discussed about the collaboration. You have not to do collaboration only friends, family, vendor, associate, or your near and dear. In spite of that, you have to make collaboration with your competitor. So sometimes it's the very useful, because your competitor has some specialization. Might be possible you are not a specialized, but once you comes together, then you can provide the best services to your customer, or you can provide uh, services in that manner कि जो आज तक हुआ ही नहीं है, that never happened till date. So it is the important, so that we have discussed in the last session. So those person who has joined late, so just I repeat one more time. Today we have topic what we have learning from Lord Shiva, and just I have taken the one learning, what is the his learning for a student, housewife, business owner, and job holder. Yeah. Now, so this is the one particular picture of the Samudra Manthan, where when the Dev and Danav were the fighting, but God has realized that there are lots of the precious stone and lots of the precious wealth is inside the sea. So we have to do Samudra Manthan. Okay, then they taken decision. So they were not aware. They were the aware that only we will get the precious stone. But when they started Samudra Manthan, then सबसे पहले जो निकल के आता है, first thing is come, that is the poison, and that poison is the such kind of the मतलब destroyable कि nobody is able to accept, either Danav or God. God is not able to absorb that poison. Then what's happened? Bhagwan Shiv Shankar is come in that particular place, or whatever the poison has come from inside the Samudra Manthan or inside sea, he has taken and he absorbed every poison. So this poison will not impact anyone. So what's happened? I want to say that when God is doing the Samudra Manthan, he was aware that we will get Amrit, we will get precious stone, we will get wealth, we will get the lots of other things. But first thing क्या निकल के आता है, that is the poison, halahal. Okay, so for that Danav and God was not aware that it will come out. Okay, in spite of that, poison is come out and nobody is able to absorb. Then Bhagwan Shiv Shankar has come in place and he has absorbed each and every single sip of poison. That's why he is called Nilkant. So this is the one thing now. So today we have the learning from itself here. Whenever you are doing any activity, whether it is a job, whether you are doing a study or you are into home, okay, so only not comes only good thing, but also bad thing also comes. Suppose that you are making vegetable, you are into kitchen, okay, and you want to make very good vegetable, okay, suppose that karahi paneer or malai kofta or any kind of the vegetable. So what will happen when you are cutting vegetable, when you are cutting onion, when you are cutting tomato, then uska jo wastage hai, that's also come out. Suppose that you have taken that wastage on a stage of on rake of kitchen, then it will create mass. Okay, so what we do, we have collected all wastage and we put it into dustbin. Okay, then that is that you can connect yourself. Whenever you are doing anything, whether it is good or not good, but when you are doing any activity, तो good अच्छे के साथ साथ कुछ ना कुछ बुरा निकल के आएगा ही आएगा. And that we have to understand, that we have to accept. If we are not able to accept bad thing or bad activity or bad reaction, only we are finding the yeah, हमारे life में it will come only good thing, then it will never happen. So whenever you are doing any activity or any work and we are in hope of the good result, but you have to understand that when good result will come, so before coming good result you will find out that there is some bad thing happening in your life or some bad result is coming. If you don't absorb, if you don't absorb, so what will happen, you just mislead from that path and you don't get the success. Suppose you just take the example of a student. When a student is making study and he's preparing for IIT, medical, MBA, or any other government job or any other competition, okay, then his aim to crack that examination, to be top in examination, to pass in examination. But what's come before cracking, before passing that examination, he got lots of the subject, lots of the syllabus, lots of books, lots of tension. He has to read, he has to go coaching. So if that student is saying, no, I don't want to go coaching, I don't want to study lots of syllabus, I don't want to study lots of book, what will happen? He don't have energy to absorb poison or activity, then he will never crack that examination. So that I want to say, whenever you have mission, whenever you are doing any activity for any good result or best result, then whatever the comes in your path, okay, then you have to do. Otherwise, you will not get. In Samudra Manthan, everybody is aware when we will do Samudra Manthan, we will get precious stone, we will get Amrit and etc. That. But what's coming first? That's come the poison. Suppose Dev and Danav has decided not to do and not to absorb that poison. So what will happen? Whatever the stone, whatever the Amrit, whatever the wealth, uh, Mahalakshmi has to come out from the sea. That never happened. Okay. So just that I want to say, whenever you want to do any activity, you are doing any activity for the good result. So whatever comes in between, in that path, in that journey, you have to accept, you have to absorb. Otherwise, you will never get that kind of success. So that I have already discussed to you. Whenever you are doing any activity, so with positive, you got something negative also. That you have to understand. Then you have to ask some feedback. Suppose that when the halal and poison has come out from the Samudra Manthan, the Dev and Danav, they have discussed with their own teacher or own guru what we have to do. So from the both sides, they have given the feedback not to accept because you don't have the power to absorb such kind of the poison. Then Joe, you can say the mentor of the God that is called the Bhaspat Guru. He has given the feedback to God. Who Bhagwan Shiv Shankar or Brahma ji or Vishnu ji, he will give the some direction. Then they have given the direction. Bhagwan Shiv Shankar will absorb all poison and he will do the effortless your activity. Okay, so you have to also need the feedback. When you got the negative, positive, then you have to ask your feedback, and after that you have to accept negative and feedback so you can improve yourself. Suppose that I am giving a lecture to you, and any participant has given the feedback to me, Manish, your content is not good, or you are giving the some ridiculous thing. And I have never accepted just such kind of the negative feedback or electricity science to me. Just I think, no, you are wrong. Whatever I'm doing, I'm right. So what will happen within the within the short term, like 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever I have the audience, I will lose because when I am giving session to my audience or my any person and he's not absorbing, he's not able to understand my thoughts. So it will create problem for me. If I accept it, suppose that Mr. X has given the money, you are the finance person, but whenever you're talking about the motivational and some other topic that is not so much informative, or it is not a good content, so you have not to discuss about that. Suppose that just anyone is saying, I have to understand whether that person is saying right or not. If that person is saying right, in spite of that, I have taken decision, I have to discuss about the accountancy as well as taxation as well as the life motivation. It means I have to improve myself. If I don't improve, then जो मेरा negative feedback है, it will create negative aura for me, and one day I will finish. Okay, so when you are doing anything, so some positive and negative will come. Then you have to ask your feedback up to whom we have to ask feedback. Just we will discuss, and once we got feedback, we got negative, positive, everything. Then we have to accept our negative and feedback so we can improve ourselves. That is the one most important thing. Now, student, what I have said, today we will discuss about students, what we have the learning for the student or what we have learning for the housewife, job holder, everything we will discuss. Then a student has to ask feedback from teacher, friends, and relative. Relative comes like brother, cousin, parent, anyone. Suppose that any student is going college, school, coaching, or anywhere. Definitely, he has some teacher in professional life, in school time, in college time. Then he has to ask from feedback from teacher. Ki, sir, what do you think about me? Whatever the lesson you have given, and I have you have given the assignment homework to me, and I have submitted. So whether it is up to mark or not. So once you will not ask your feedback from your teacher, so because in every class, a student approx 30, 45, 50, 25, then it is not possible for a teacher. He will give the feedback to each and every student. So it is your liability, it is your duty to ask from your teacher, sir, I have finished my homework or whatever the task you have given to me. So what is your feedback? Whether my answer is up to mark or not, whether this style of giving my answer, whether I will crack my examination or not. Once you ask this kind of the feedback from your teacher, definitely he will give the some suggestion to you. No, your answer is not good, or your answer is up to mark, but you can improve yourself along. As like the you are asking the feedback from your teacher, you have to discuss with your friend. Suppose that in any class, your position is the third, 5, 10, 15. Then you have some friend who is the upper than you, like any friend who might be possible, number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, and some your friend can be lower than you. You have to ask feedback from both side of friend, चाहे वो अपर का हो, टॉपर हो, या not he is not topper, or just he is the junior to you. Because in a study, if he is not doing good, it doesn't mean he cannot give the good feedback to you. And it is my personal opinion कि जो topper होता है, agree, the person, any person who is the topper, he will not give the good feedback, but जो failure होता है, he give the very good feedback to you, because he start with feedback, ये geography is very bad subject. Then you can ask why it is a bad subject. Then he will give the some explanation. Yeah, I'm not able to correlate with the geographical, like India, how much places in the India and how it is the connected with world. So when he will give the such kind of the explanation, okay, he will give the such kind of the explanation, then you can find out, okay, it is the problem of this particular my friend. I will remove so I can be the good in geography. But when you ask with your toppers, then he will give that geography to kuch nahi hai, just you have to just read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. It will happen. So it is my advice to you. You are asking the student. If you are a student, or there is a some in your family, if someone is a student, then suggest him, her, to take feedback from teacher, friends, and relative. And whatever they have the feedback, he or she has to try remove his mistake or her mistake, so next time he can achieve, or he or she can score more marks. This is the same thing for the housewife. When any lady is coming from Maika to Sasural, or you can say the one family to another family, then she has to adjust lots of the thing, because everything has changed out. In on Maika, whatever she has demanded, mother and father is fulfilling her demand. Maybe brother and sister is giving also the company to her, but in Sasral, it is not possible. In within 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, someone maybe fulfill your demand, but after you have to perform each and everything. Like whatever the fulfillment is done by your mother or father in your home, in your Maika, that activity, that role you have to do in Sasral. So whenever you are going another home, one home to another home, whether it is you are the housewife or the working lady, okay, then you have to ask feedback from your family. Wo, you can ask feedback from your Maika as well as the social, so you can understand in laws how you can understand ki, whether you are accepting all challenges or not, whether you are accepting new family or not, whether you are collaborating with your new family or not. If it is not, तो what is the way, कैसे आप उनसे फैमिली में मिलजुल के अपने आप को फैमिली से एडजस्ट कर सकते हो, बिकॉज इट इज योर लॉन्ग लाइफ रिलेशनशिप. इफ यू डोंट कोरिलेट विथ योर न्यू फैमिली, देन जो आज के डेट पर वी आर फाइंडिंग आउट डिवोर्स या डिवीजन फैमिली का, कि भाई शादी हुआ एंड आफ्टर 3 to 4 months और विद इन द 1 year सब भाइयों में बंटवारा हो जाता है, या फिर माँ बाप से अलग हो जाते हैं. तो दैट इज सच काइंड ऑफ द सिनेरियो. So when you are a lady is going into the new life after marriage, it means ki she is expecting very good thing. Ki I have the husband and whatever I will ask, it will be the fulfill, or everything will be the new for me. But again, you have to adjust with the new family. You have to understand the culture of that family. So you have to ask from your mother as well as in-laws in your social, चाहे वो देवर हो, ननद हो, any kind of the relationship, you have to ask what is your expectation, or whatever I have activity, whether it is acceptable in your home or not. So that you have to ask, and after that try to manage your family. Otherwise your life will be just like the hell, because if you think whatever the situation I have before managed, I will manage like that, then ये लाइफ में हमेशा it will create the problem. So when you are going into the new relationship, you new life, तो अच्छा के साथ साथ definitely will find out the some difficulties, because you have to correlate with your other one, जो आपके आज तक 18 20 साल 25 साल 30 साल तक जो आपके लाइफ में आया ही नहीं था. You have to accept and you have to follow them. Suppose that your in-laws is saying कि आपको पुराने दोस्तों से ज्यादा बात नहीं करना है, just I am giving the one thing, and you are doing, then it will create problem for you. So this kind of the problem will come out. So you have to understand कि what is your feedback from your family about you, and whatever you can manage, whatever you can remove. And if you want to मैनेज योर फैमिली, देन आपको फीडबैक लेना है, और फीडबैक के साथ आपको अपने प्रॉब्लम को सॉर्ट आउट करना है. For the job holder, suppose that I am doing the job, then I have to ask the feedback from my boss as well as the junior, because sometimes boss has the lots of expectation from us कि whatever the assignment is given to him, it will be the done within the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Sometimes junior has the expectation, no, Mr. Manish is the boss and he will protect us. So suppose that any junior has done some mistake, or my boss is giving the my boss is scolding him, but I have not protected, then my junior has some expectation from my side. If Manish is my immediate boss and he has to protect from super boss, or second boss, or third boss, or fourth boss, but I am not protecting, then I have to understand, I have to take the feedback from my boss as well as the junior. What you get, what you want from me, or whether I am up to mark for you. If you do, and you get the feedback from your boss as well as the junior, then try to make good team, because बिना good team के you cannot work. Because अगर आपको काम ही करना होता alone, then there is no need of the job. Because when you are going into job, then you have the some hierarchy. Like आपके ऊपर बॉस होता है या ऑनर होता है, आपके नीचे you have the some team. Okay, so when you don't cooperate with your team, then आप जॉब में कभी भी सक्सेस नहीं करोगे. You will find out कि any person who is doing very good, then you will, if you study him or her, then you will find out one thing: he had very good rapport with boss as well as the junior, so he is growing. Because अगर वो फाइट कर लेता है, बॉस से एग्री नहीं करता है, या जूनियर को अपने साथ नहीं मिला के चलता है, then he or she will never get such kind of the phenomenal growth in his or her job. So ask feedback from boss as well as the junior, and try to make a good team, so you and your company will grow. And last, for the business owner, suppose that you are the business owner and you have started any business, any startup, anything, then you started to produce any services or goods. Suppose that you are producing just a mobile, okay, and you place your mobile into market, but you got the lots of the feedback from your customer as well as the vendor. This mobile is not good, and you are not able to accept that mistake. So what will happen? Whatever you have the product, वो product धीरे धीरे market से out हो जाएगा. Otherwise, if you have taken feedback from your customer and आपने उस mistake को remove कर देते हो, then you can provide the best services. This is the best example of Tata Group. When Tata Group has introduced first time Indica, then lots of the customer as well as any person, even I have not to drive Indica. In spite of that, मेरे आसपास से जब भी Indica is crossing, I have the one imagination कि ये कार नहीं जा रहा, it is going the truck, because उसका जो sound of engine था, it was just like the heavy sound. Okay, so this kind of the problem was facing the Indica. Indica success भी हुआ, लेकिन उस दिन के सक्सेस के बाद it was going the downside, and ये 3 to 4 year हुआ. And after that Tata Group had understand, and आज के डेट पर after Maruti, Tata is the number 2, because he has considered the feedback from the customer and everyone, and Tata Group remove all kind of the mistake problem from engine as well as the body design, everything. Now in last 2 and 3 years, Tata is the number 2, because number 1 is the Maruti, because Maruti selling is the huge. But before that, number 2 was the Hyundai, but now Hyundai is the number 3rd. Number 2 is the Tata. If it is the possible, हो सकता है कुछ दिनों के बाद Tata can be number 1 in India. So I want to say that if you are doing any business, you have to ask feedback from your customer, your vendor, or anyone who is associated with you. Even your employee can give feedback to you. Okay, whatever the feedback you got from your customer, vendor, employee, okay, you have to try find out whether this feedback is right or not. If it is the right, then try to move out, remove that mistake, so you can provide the best services with goods, and you can be master. You can be a master of your market, or you can be the you can create the monopoly, or you can earn huge profit. You can earn huge wealth. So this is the one thing. Now I have told you कि you have to take the feedback. I have given the some example, like in case of the student, you have to take feedback from the teacher, friends. In case of the business owner, I have given the feedback you have to take it from vendor, customer, and even your employee. Then you have to understand what is the process कि किससे मैं feedback लूं and how. Suppose that मैंने customer से आके पूछा कि sir, what is your feedback? If my customer is saying कि Manish, you are the chartered accountant, but when you have filed your hour return, you have not given to me proper set of book, or you have not provided me idea, you have not provided my ID and password. Might be possible I will forget it. If I have mailed to him, her, or ask her feedback, his feedback, might be possible कि वो मेरे पास रिकॉर्ड रहेगा. बट भरवली तो दिस इज यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि मुझे किससे फीडबैक लेना है, हाउ आई हैव टू टेक फीडबैक, एंड आफ्टर टेकिंग फीडबैक how I have to implement the feedback. That is the most important thing. अगर ये तीन चीज पर आप काम करते हो, then very good. And if you want to do this kind of the work and you have the any difficulties, okay, so you can discuss with me कि Manish, just I want to become the good family man, but I'm some difficulty में फीडबैक कैसे लूं, या यार मैं अपने से छोटे जो मेरे कजन है, मेरे भाई है, मेरा बेटा है, डोंट वांट टू टेक द फीडबैक, वो इफ यू वांट टू डिस्कस विद मी आई विल हेल्प यू. ठीक है. एंड next time we will we come here for the session, then we will learn the some other learning from the Lord Shiva, because if we want to learn from the Lord Shiva, there are the lots of learning. So today just we have the one learn one topic from the Lord Shiva, that is the when you got the something bad or negative thing, you have to absorb to get positive or best thing in your life. To have the success, you have to absorb lots. You have to do lots of the practice. You have to do lots of the negative feedback from your customer or anything. If you don't absorb, you don't accept, तो आप कभी भी successful नहीं पाओगे. Then in the next week we will have the session ki what we have the other lesson from Lord Shiva. So thank you guys for the your patience. And if you have any question related to this, then you are most welcome to ask your question. And in last, if you don't have any question or after asking your question, just I need my feedback. Ki what you have learned or my you can say my way of giving the knowledge or giving the session to you, or my activity, my process, whatever I did, whether it is the useful for